So, in this um, podcast, I'll be covering some news stories that most of the mainstream media aren't covering because, well, it looks bad for the Bidens. But let's, our first one is House GOP, Hunter Biden, others got $1.3 million from business associates linked to China. And then the House Republicans are investigating President Joe Biden and family for his alleged influence peddling, which Democrats dismiss as hyper-partisan attacks. For this to be a hyper-partisan attack, they would have to explain to me being a logical thinking person, why a Chinese company would hire a crack-addicted, prostitute-paying, get my widow, my brother's widow pregnant and disown the son, attorney, why they would hire someone like that. It's just saying. I mean, that brings up another question. How does this person still have a law license? Isn't it like the bar association? Shouldn't they be stripping him of his license? All right. Key points. The Oversight and Accountability Committee identified $1.3 million paid to Hunter Biden and others. The panel said payments also went to James and Hallie Biden and companies associated with the Bidens. Democrats have dismissed the inquiry as hyper-partisan attack aimed at President Joe Biden. Again, why would a Chinese company be paying a known crack-addicted attorney? And his brother. What's his brother do? I have no idea. I'm going to have to research that. But there is a video out there of his brother actually giving speeches, just mentioning the Biden family. By the way, question. Since all these other companies are dropping the dollar for the yuan, the Chinese yuan, are the Bidens going to be getting paid in yuan now? Okay, Washington. House Republican announced Thursday that President Joe Biden's relatives received a combined $1.3 million from a business associate with links to China, the latest salvo in an investigation the Biden administration has dismissed as politically motivated. Yes, and the laptop was Russian misinformation. Hunter Biden, the president's son, James Biden, the president's brother, Hallie Biden, the president's daughter-in-law, and a fourth unnamed Biden received the payments from business associate Rob Walker. According to the House Oversight and Accountability Committee, the money was paid out after Walker received a $3 million wire transfer from a Chinese company, according to the panel. It is unclear what services were provided to obtain this exorbitant amount of money, said the chairman, Representative James Comer, Republican of Kentucky. Yeah, what services could a crack-addicted attorney and giving speeches? That's what they'll tell you too. Oh, we were giving speeches. Have you listened to Sniffy Joe talk? How are they paying him for speeches? Comer said he released the memo in response to criticism from the top Democrat on the panel, Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland, who said the panel was prying into private lives of Biden's family business associates by subpoenaing bank records. I think the laptop itself gives probable cause. So, also, they're not private citizens. Well, Sniffy Joe isn't. He's the president, and back then he was the vice president. So he's not a private citizen. And actually, peddling influence is a crime. A White House spokesman, Ian Sams, slammed the bizarre release. Previously, the White House had dismissed the inquiries into Hunter Biden as hyper-partisan and politically motivated. Here's where the investigation stands. What did Comer release? Comer released figures from banking records from 2015 to 2017. Where was Sniffy Joe at that time? Oh yeah, he was vice president and threatening Ukraine if they didn't fire a DA who was investigating his son. That's another question I'm hoping we can get to in this podcast. What energy company would hire a crack-addicted attorney to sit on their board of directors, and why? If they can answer that question with a straight fucking face, from Walker's account to several accounts of President Biden's relatives from a period when he was vice president until just after he left the Obama administration. The release doesn't detail the full $1.3 million during that time period. But the payments range from $5,000 to $300,000, either to Biden relatives or to companies linked to them, such as Owasco PC, First Clearing LLC, JBBSR Incorporated, and RSTP IILLC. When were the payments made? Comer's timeline for payment while Joe Biden was vice president. November 5th, 2015, Walker received a wire transfer of $179,837 from an account the committee continues to investigate. November 6, 2015, Walker transferred $59,900 to his personal checking account. November 9, 2015, Walker wired $59,900 from his personal checking account to Hunter Biden. Under Comer's timeline, the bulk of the payments were made after Joe Biden left the vice presidency. March 1st, 2017, State Energy HK Limited, a Chinese energy company, wired $3 million to Robinson Walker LLC. At the time, the account had a balance of $159,000. March 2nd, 2017, Walker wired nearly $1.1 million to European Energy and Infrastructure Group in Abu Dhabi. Comer said the company is linked to James Gilliar, a business partner of Hunter Biden. There's another question. Who in their right mind would go into business with a crack-addicted, prostitute-paying, get my brother's widow pregnant and disown the son lawyer? March 6th and 13th, April 21st and May 17th, Walker wired a combined $70,000 to an unnamed Biden. March 20th, 2017, Walker wires $25,000 to Hallie Biden. March 27th and 31 and April 18th, 2017, Walker wired a combined $500,000 to Owasco. March 29th, 2017, Walker wires First Clearing $100,000. April 3rd, 20th, and 24th, and May 18th, 2017, Walker wires JBBSR a combined $360,000. April 14th, 2017, Walker wires $10,692 to RSTP. You know what this sounds remarkably like? If you were to read up on RICO, yeah, this sounds like money laundering. That's what it sounds like. The committee also found a $10,000 payment to Hallie Biden on February 13th, 2017, before the Chinese wire transfer. Hunter Biden began dating Hallie, the widow of his brother Beau, in 2016, according to a New Yorker profile. The two exchanged payments during the period, according to emails on a Hunter Biden laptop turned over to the FBI, which was, remember, Russian disinformation. After a disgusting attack lamenting that the president's deceased son Beau was never prosecuted while he was alive, Congressman Comer has now decided to go after Beau's widow and Sams, the White House spokesman. Instead of bizarrely attacking the president's family, perhaps House Republicans should focus on working with the president to deliver results for American families on important priorities while lowering costs and strengthening health care. They should help families by getting Joe Biden out of office. He should be in prison. So should crackhead Biden. The gun charge alone is 10 years. Why isn't it? Of course, the Secret Service covered it up for him because, he's a Biden. All while they're trying to prosecute Trump over some bullshit. How did Democrats on the panel respond? Raskin, the top Democrat on the committee, said after 4 years of investigations in the House and Senate into Hunter Biden, Republicans found no connection to the president or any other government official. Right, the big guy, yeah. It must be frustrating to my GOP colleagues to have even Fox News commentators rolling their eyes about this tiresome fishing expedition, but I want to stress that there always remains the possibility of doing serious bipartisan legislative oversight work together, Raskin said. What comes next? The release Thursday was part of wide-ranging investigations by House Republicans into Joe Biden and his relatives, which Democrats dismissed as politically motivated. You mean like charging a former president with some made-up bullshit charges that actually the statute of limitations have run out on? However, again, they would have to answer this question. Why would a Chinese company hire a crack-addicted, prostitute-paying, get my brother's widow pregnant and disown the son attorney? Comer has subpoenaed banking records linked to Hunter Biden and James Biden and others. Committee investigators will review those Treasury Department reports to see where they lead. In response to the banking subpoena, Raskin criticized committee Republicans for dropping a demand for financial records from former President Trump's longtime accounting firm, Mazars USA. Donald Trump was a private citizen. He wasn't the vice president. He didn't take a paycheck when he was president. So, as you can see, the political attacks. While I concur that the ethics and disclosure laws governing executive branch officials demand reform, as the actions of the Trump administration have demonstrated, the actions you have taken are inconsistent with good faith interest in this matter, Raskin said. Yeah, okay. Again, answer this simple question. Why would a Chinese company hire a crack-addicted, prostitute-paying, get my brother's widow pregnant and disown the son, gun charge fucking attorney? Why does this attorney still have his license? Why is he flying with the vice president at that time to make deals? And who would give this fucker a job if his father wasn't vice president? And who would do business with him if this guy didn't have, if they weren't peddling influence? I wouldn't let him in my house.
I'm Frank Biden. I'm the non-attorney senior advisor to clients statewide who need diversified business solutions through the Berman Law Group. I'm available for consultation with attorney Teddy Berman in any of our offices statewide.
In that first meeting, I went up there to go over kind of the protocols, the platform, exactly what it is that we do.
Mm-hmm. So were you presenting at the hospital?
I was. And I had a meeting that afternoon with their judicial system.
And you had no idea that Jim was going to be there?
I had no clue.
Okay.
And so we go around, and everybody's doing introductions and cards are being passed, but you know how that goes. Hey, I'm Bob, James, David, Karen, and as I was going through the IOP model that we were just talking about, that is when Jim looked at me and said, my brother could have you in every court system in America. And at the time, 100% honesty and transparency, at the time I didn't know who his brother was.
Right.
So I took it, I said, okay, and we moved on throughout the presentation. And later on that afternoon, I went to meet with the judicial system, had a very good meeting with them. We had planned on putting that IOP model in that hospital. That hospital was desperate. They were in a really bad, tough situation. And let me tell you, the people of that hospital were very, very good people. Mm-hmm. And we could really, really relate to them. Mm-hmm. And to this day, my heart goes out to those people.
In Kentucky, I mean, their communities just like in East Tennessee. They're very rural and
very.
And all that
That's correct. That is correct.
And addiction high, rates.
That's correct. And so we went and met and had a great meeting with that judicial system. We were going to pilot that program there. And it never got off the ground. And the reason being was due to the fact that there was no funding. And so when I read the response, you asked me what part of that I was going to pick out. I could sit here for 8 hours and pick out. I understand the fact that they have a PR firm who has a job.
Right.
I don't have any ill will toward the PR firm. But to call what we were doing pure fantasy is demonstrably false.
Hunter Biden investigation being mishandled, IRS whistleblower says. I think I need to fix the headline. Hunter Biden investigation being sabotaged, IRS whistleblower says. Washington, Associated Press. An IRS special agent is seeking whistleblower protection to disclose seeking whistleblower protection to disclose information about what the agent alleges is mishandling of an investigation into President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, according to a letter sent to members of Congress. Mark Little, the attorney for the IRS whistleblower, wrote to lawmakers Wednesday that his client has information about a failure to mitigate clear conflicts of interest in the ultimate disposition of a criminal investigation related to the younger Biden's taxes and whether he made a false statement in connection with a gun purchase. On the gun purchase, we have video of him smoking crack. On the form to purchase a firearm, any firearm, long gun, pistol, whatever, it asks you, are you addicted to narcotics? I believe that would be a yes, and he put no on the form. That would be a lie. That is a federal offense. That is a 10-year charge, or 10-year stint in prison. Despite serious risks of retaliation, my client is offering to provide you with information necessary to exercise your constitutional oversight function and wishes to make the disclosures in a nonpartisan manner to the leadership of the relevant committees on both sides of the political aisle, Little said in a letter obtained by the Associated Press that was sent to the chairman and ranking members of several House and Senate committees. The letter states that the supervisory special agent previously disclosed the information they are seeking to share with Congress internally with the IRS and a watchdog for the Justice Department. Little added that his client is able to contradict sworn testimony to lawmakers by a senior political appointee. That appointee is not named. Who appoints appointees? Oh yeah, that's right, the president. Hunter Biden's father. The special agent also wants to disclose examples of preferential treatment and politics improperly infecting decisions and protocols that would normally be followed by career law enforcement professionals in similar circumstances if the subject were not politically connected, the lawyer added. The Justice Department declined to comment. Requests for comments from IRS and Hunter Biden's legal team were not immediately returned. Of course, the Justice Department is not going to comment. They're involved. They run all the criminal investigations in Washington. That's their job. Hunter Biden's taxes and foreign business work has been under federal investigation by a federal grand jury in Delaware since at least 2018. So far, no charges have been filed. Additionally, his membership on the board of a Ukrainian energy company and his efforts to strike deals in China have long raised questions by Republicans about whether he traded on his father's public service. Okay, Ukrainian oil and China. In what world, and if the loony left can answer this question with a straight face, then we can drop all these charges. In what world would a company hire a crack-addicted, prostitute-paying, banging the brother's widow, scumbag attorney with no energy experience, unless he were his vice president was his father? And by the way, the same father who threatened the Ukrainian government if they didn't fire a district attorney who was investigating his son. Joe Biden has said he has never spoken to his son about foreign business. There are no indications that federal investigation involves the president. Now, he's never spoken to his son about foreign business. Then why was Hunter Biden riding on Air Force, I guess you would call it Air Force 2, when he was vice president to China, and all of a sudden they're getting money from China? Are you kidding me? Who makes this shit up? The whistleblower letter, first reported by the Wall Street Journal, comes as House Republicans have opened their own investigations into nearly every facet of Hunter Biden's business dealings, including examining foreign payments and other aspects of his finances. Representative James Comey, Republican of Kentucky, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, recently reviewed financial transactions by members of the Biden family that were flagged for attention. Those financial reports are routine, with larger financial transactions automatically flagged to the government and are not evidence on their own of misconduct. But Comer, who has been leading the various probes into Hunter Biden, said the whistleblower letter is further evidence of the importance of congressional inquiries into the president and his family. It's deeply concerning that the Biden administration may be obstructing justice by blocking efforts to charge Hunter Biden for tax violations, Comer said in a statement Thursday. Obstructing justice. You mean like threatening a foreign country's legal system for investigating your son? That you won't give them certain loan guarantees? Yeah, that would be obstructing justice too. But however, these obstructing justice charges sound familiar? Yeah, they tried that with Trump too. The difference is Trump was actually not guilty. Ex-Biden official Sam Brinton to undergo mental health evaluation in luggage theft case. Okay, just a question here. Does this really, does they really need an evaluation? It's a man with a beard, bald, wearing a dress, high heels, and stealing women's clothing. What's there to evaluate? This, and let's think about what this guy was in charge of. He was in charge of getting rid of America's nuclear waste. This is what happens when the person handing out jobs has dementia. Sam Brinton, the disgraced former Biden administration official accused of stealing luggage in at least 2 separate occasions, has agreed to undergo mental health evaluation as part of a Minnesota adult diversion program. Brinton, who is non-binary, doesn't exist, he's mentally ill, and uses they-them pronouns, doesn't even know how many people he is, that's multiple personality disorder, appeared remotely Monday at Hennepin County Court hearing stemming from a luggage theft incident that occurred in September in Minnesota's St. Paul International Airport. In addition to having to undergo mental health evaluation, Brinton will be required to write a letter of apology to the victims, return any stolen property, and perform 3 days of community service, local news station Fox 9 reported. Adult diversion programs are aimed at first-time nonviolent offenders. Those who meet program expectations could potentially see their cases dismissed. Had Brinton's case in Minnesota proceeded to trial and resulted in a conviction on the charge of felony theft of movable property without consent, they could have been looking at up to 5 years in prison. Evaluation, again, you really need an evaluation? What the fuck? Hennepin County prosecutors allege that Brinton was caught on surveillance video in the afternoon of September 16th, pulling another traveler's navy blue Vera Bradley suitcase from the baggage carousel and removing the owner's ID tag from the luggage before walking away with their loot. Cops, they, them, there, Cops tracked Brinton to the Intercontinental St. Paul Riverfront Hotel and confronted them. It's him. Asking if Brinton took anything and did not belong to them, the Biden administration official was quoted as telling police, "Not that I know of." But 2 hours after the initial exchange, Brinton called the police and apologized for not being completely honest. Wow, looks like Jason Bourne on meth. Brinton ultimately admitted to taking the suitcase, but claimed that it was an accident and said he was willing to return it, along with its contents valued at $2,325. Listen, there's no such thing as misgendering or pronouns. You know what misgendering is? It's sane people talking to insane people saying sane things. That's what it is. So you can, last week, Brinton pleaded no contest to stealing another woman's suitcase at Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas on July 2022. In that case, the ex-Department of Energy official was also spared jail time after being handed a 180-day suspended sentence as part of a plea deal. Brinton's felony charge was downgraded to a misdemeanor. This needs an evaluation, a mental health evaluation. A Nevada judge also ordered Brinton to pay $3,670.74 in restitution to the victim of the luggage, which contained $1,700 worth of jewelry, $8,000 in clothes, and makeup estimated at $500, which, by the way, if you add all that up, would be a felony. Grand larceny. In the wake of the back-to-back luggage heist, Brinton has been fired from his job as Deputy Assistant Secretary for Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition of the DOE's Office of Nuclear Energy. This does not need a fucking evaluation. This needs time on lithium and strong psychotropic drugs. Fourteen U.S. Special Forces on the ground in Ukraine, Pentagon leak shows. Does anybody remember when the loony left was screaming, "Trump's going to start World War III"? Yeah, Pepperidge Farms remembers. Nearly 100 special forces from 5 Western countries, including more than a dozen Americans, have been operating on the ground in Ukraine, according to a leaked document. So we're basically, the United States is now at war with Russia. An undeclared war, but we're at war with Russia. Remember how Vietnam started? Special forces, advisors, that kind of shit. The classified document dated March 23rd and marked secret revealed that the U.S. had 14 special forces in Ukraine as of last month, reported The Guardian. The Post could not independently verify the authenticity of the file. While the document included no further details about the service members' exact location or nature of their activities, hence why they're called special forces, National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told Fox News on Wednesday that a small U.S. military presence was located at the embassy in Kiev to monitor military aid sent by Washington to help Ukraine fight off the Russian invasion. UK has deployed 50 of its elite fighters, accounting for more than half of all Western special forces allegedly active in Ukraine. NATO members, Latvia and France, have purportedly sent 17 and 15 special forces, respectively, to assist Kiev, while the Netherlands has deployed a sole service member overseas. The file, revealing the presence of at least 97 Western service members in Ukrainian soil, was part of a cache of documents, some marked secret and top secret, that were initially posted on the online gaming platform Discord last month. The highly sensitive documents containing U.S. intelligence assessments of Ukraine military capabilities and vulnerabilities, along with information about allies, have since been making the rounds on social media sites. It was previously reported that the leak was prompted Kiev to amend its plans for Ukrainians' anticipated spring counteroffensive, a claim the government has denied. The Justice Department has launched an investigation to identify the source of the damaging leak. It turned out to be a Air National Guard dude. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin vowed Tuesday to turn over every rock until he finds the source of this and the extent of it. It would appear the only actual safe document in Washington, D.C. would be the Epstein client list. Kirby warned Monday that at least some of the documents appeared to have been doctored, possibly to be used in misinformation campaign to drive a wedge between Ukraine's allies. The UK Ministry of Defense sounded a similar note Tuesday in response to the claim that dozens of British special forces were present in Ukraine, tweeting that the information had demonstrated a serious level of inaccuracy. Readers should be cautious about taking at face value allegations that have the potential to spread misinformation, the agency said. Ukraine's defense minister, meanwhile, categorically denied that elite NATO soldiers were operating in the country, saying during a briefing Wednesday that it was not true. Yes, and the Hunter laptop is Russian misinformation. But why would they use a long definition like that? That's, misinformation instead of, they're lies. Because they're not. During a wider discussion of the leaks, Oleksiy Heznikov echoed the UK's defense official, saying that the documents contained a mixture of true and false information. There's a lot of information there which does not correspond with reality, Reznikov said during a briefing in Madrid. Why don't you just say you're lying? Why? Because they're not. The information which does correspond with reality has lost its relevance, so it's a mix of truth and falsehoods. Reznikov suggested that the files were made public in a bid to sow discord among Kiev's supporters in the West. Let me guess, Russian misinformation. The goal of this work is to lower the level of trust among partners, especially the United States and other countries, and to me this is completely obvious and clear, he said. The Kremlin said Wednesday it's unclear whether the leaked documents referring to the foreign special forces were authentic, but that it had already known that instructors from NATO countries were active in Ukraine. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov also suggested that the release of the Pentagon documents might be a deliberate attempt to dupe Moscow. So it's Russian misinformation, it's American misinformation, it's UK misinformation. The fact is we have troops on the ground in Ukraine. So we're technically fighting a war with Russia. So why is it always the Democrats who like to start fucking wars? Well, Democrats and rhinos. Got great news for you folks. If you're a good person, pay your bills on time, and a good citizen, you now get to pay your neighbor's bills who don't. Biden to hike payments for good credit home buyers to subsidize high-risk mortgages. Home buyers with good credit scores will soon encounter a costly surprise, a new federal rule forcing them to pay higher mortgage rates and fees to subsidize people with higher risk, with riskier credit ratings who are also in the market to buy houses. The fee changes will go into effect May 1st as part of the Federal Housing Finance Agency's push for affordable housing, and they will affect mortgages originating at private banks across the country. The federally backed home mortgages companies, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, will enact the Loan Level Price Adjustments, or LLPAs. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they sound familiar. Oh yeah, that's right. Those are the banks that were too big to fail. Mortgage industry specialists say home buyers with credit scores of 680 or higher will pay, for example, about $40 per month more on a home loan of $400,000. Home buyers who make down payments of 15% to 20% will get shocked with the largest fees. So if you can afford to pay your bills and maintain a good credit score, you're going to be penalized. Now they want to penalize you for being a good citizen. The new fees will apply only to Americans buying houses or refinancing after May 1st. Lenders and real estate agents say the changes will frustrate home buyers with high credit scores and homeowners seeking to refinance because the rule punishes them for their relatively strong financial positions. The changes do not make sense. Penalizing borrowers with larger down payments and credit scores will not go over well. Ian Wright, a senior loan officer at Bay Equity Home Loans in San Francisco Bay Area, told the Washington Times in an email message, it overcomplicates things for consumers during a process that can already feel overwhelmed, and the amount of paperwork, jargon, etc. Confusing the borrower is never a good thing. Basically, they're incentivizing people to go and trash their credit. Another example of how the loony left doesn't understand a thing about economics. He said the rule will cause customer service issues for lenders and individual loan officers when a consumer won't understand why their interest rate and fees suddenly changed. I am all for the first-time buyer having a chance to get into the market, but it's clear these decisions aren't being made by folks that understand the entire mortgage process, Mr. Wright said. The new fees will create extreme confusion as they enter the traditional spring home purchase season, said David Stevens, a former head of the Mortgage Bankers Association who served as a commissioner of the Federal Housing Administration during the Obama administration. The confusing approach won't work, and more importantly, couldn't come at a worse time for an industry struggling to get back on its feet after these past 12 months, Mr. Stevens wrote in a recent social media post. To do this at the onset of the spring market is almost offensive to the market, consumers, and lenders. The house market has been hit hard by a series of Federal Reserve interest rate hikes that have driven mortgage rates above 6%, roughly double the level from early 2022. The Fed has raised rates rapidly to bring down inflation, which hit a 4-decade high of 9.1% last summer. In the wake of a 3 percentage point increase in mortgage rates, now is not the time to raise fees on home buyers. Kenny Parcell, president of the National Association of Realtors, told the Federal Housing Finance Agency earlier this year. Under the new mortgage finance rules, home buyers with riskier credit ratings and lower down payments will qualify for better mortgage rates and discounted fees. This is an attempt at buying votes, nothing more, because the loony left can't ask for votes based on success. After a storm of criticism, the agency delayed to August 1st an upfront fee for debt-to-income ratios of 40% or more. This ratio is calculated by dividing the home buyer's monthly debt payments by gross income. It's one of the key measures lenders use to determine whether a mortgage applicant qualifies for a loan. Ms. Thompson said the postponement will help to ensure a level playing field for all lenders to have sufficient time to deploy the fee. A level playing field. There it is. Another one of those CRT buzzwords. Equity, not equality. The fee changes are intended to subsidize higher risk borrowers by imposing an intentional distribution to traditional risk-based pricing, Mr. Stevens said. Why was this done? The answer is simple. It was to try to narrow the gap in access to credit, especially for minority home buyers who often have lower down payments and lower credit scores. He wrote in a post on linked, the gap in home ownership opportunity is real. America is facing a severe shortage of affordable homes for sales, combined with excessive demand caused an imbalance. But convoluting pricing and credit is not the way to solve this problem. He predicted that the Federal Reserve will soon complete its course of tightening its balance sheet and mortgage rates will fall. Demand for homes will begin to rise and the same challenges for first-time home buyers will return, he said. Lenders who are worried about the impact of the debt-to-income fee that takes effect in August because home buyers might feel as if they are in a game of bait and switch on their projected borrowing costs. When a lender is quoting a borrower, there's a lot they don't know yet, such as what the property taxes and insurance payments are per month, Mr. Wright said. Changes happen to the mortgage payment and income during escrow, so this will cause frustration to borrowers and lenders for the sudden rate fee changes. Most of us loan officers will then say, let's eat the cost for the borrower to keep them happy, resulting in losses for the lender and loan officer. He said the added uncertainty will cause delays during an already competitive real estate market lacking inventory. For example, due to the low inventory and fierce competition, many buyers must close their transactions in less than 30 days to get their offer accepted, Mr. Wright said. The sudden rate changes will cause lenders to redisclose, adding additional days to the transaction. This puts extreme timeline pressure on the buyer and lenders forced to re-underwrite the file for the changes. In a letter to Ms. Thompson in February, Mortgage Bankers Association President Bob Broekschmidt said the timing of the fee changes was especially troubling and that the debt-to-income ratio fee creates operational issues and quality control for lenders. I wonder if these idiots just get up in the morning and say, I think today I'm going to destroy the housing market. A borrower's income and expenses can change several times throughout the loan application and underwriting process, especially considering evolving assumptions concerning the nature of debt and income and the growth in self-employment, part-time employment, and gig economy employment, Mr. Broekschmidt said. You need to keep your kids off TikTok. I don't have the app because, one, it's owned by China, and two, these are the type of people who are on there.
Imagine being trans and trying to go get your medication. I literally walk up there, the lady on the phone is like, oh, can I have your last name? And so I give it to her. She's like, oh, okay, I'll meet you out there and I'll give you your prescription, right?
Seems pretty nice because I don't generally have pharmacists deliver meds.
So I'm waiting and she comes out and then she says, oh, is this for? And then she says my dead name.
You don't have a dead name. Someday you will. It will be on your tombstone. You can legally change your name, yes, but you can't change your gender there, Missy.
And I'm like, my name is Rylan. And she just looks at me. And then she puts the medication on the table and shuts the door and locks it behind her.
That's generally how people act around mentally ill people. Especially from this video, you are definitely not the most stable person out there. Now I'm trying to figure out, as this idiot's babbling, who are these racist friends she's hanging out with? Perhaps it's the quality of people you're choosing to be your friends. That has nothing to do with white people in general. Perhaps it's just your taste is in your ass.
I don't trust white people. I don't trust white people for a multitude of reasons, but one
Yeah, I don't trust racists either. That's why I don't trust you.
of the main reasons is they're unpredictable. Like, I think about all the times where I really considered white people my friends, and then when we got in a small argument, they released all the racism they hid throughout our whole friendship. Scary. And then I think about the fact that I become mutuals with people. Give them the opportunity to come clean about any problematic past. They
What problematic past would you be talking about? What would they have to confess to you, the actual racist?
say nothing, and then they get exposed for being racist. And it's never like some low-key, like I used to say the N-word in songs. No, it's like N-word hard R against black people. Like, tell me why white people are normalizing racist past.
No one is. Actually, racism is on life support. The only people keeping it alive are you fucking idiots.
Also, I think about the fact that white people have continuously, when given the opportunity, oppressed multiple marginalized communities.
Ooh, CRT buzzword, marginalized communities.
And I think about the fact how easy it is for them to do it again. Like, if they really wanted to, they would bring slavery back. They kind of already did with the criminal justice system.
Actually, no. Black Americans did with the criminal justice system. 13% of the population commits 51% of the violent crime in the United States. Against the 13% of the population. Novel idea. Don't commit crime. You don't go to prison.
Plus the rate of hate crimes.
The rate of hate crime is false. Jussie Smollett, for instance. The greatest number of hate crimes are committed against Jewish Americans. The greatest amount of crime committed against black Americans is committed by black Americans. So must be you hate each other.
I will legit always be scared of white people until they're the minority.
Well, that won't happen because Planned Parenthood is making sure that you kill a disproportionate number of your babies over white babies, you fucking idiots.
Which I hope will be sooner than I think.
Tell me this one doesn't just scream, I need attention.
Hi, I'm Cody. I primarily go by he, em, or z's on pronouns, but I'm comfortable being referred to using any neo-pronouns that are not Z here. And a little bit about who I am.
Could someone send this idiot an English book? Because there are no different pronouns. They're even in Portuguese. There are different pronouns. And in Portuguese, pronouns are actually gender specific. So this person would be fucked in Portuguese or Spanish. So
I am a white, transmasculine, femme, non-binary, disabled, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, Unitarian Universalist, raised Jewish, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, gray demi-bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma, millennial, and cat parent in mental health.
you're mentally ill. I'm going to read something here. And histrionic personality disorder. Histrionic personality disorder, HPD, is a mental health condition marked by unstable emotions, a distorted self-image, and an overwhelming desire to be noticed. People with HPD often behave dramatically or inappropriate to get attention. I'm a boy, but I think I'm a girl. What is histrionic personality disorder? Histrionic personality disorder, HPD, is a mental health condition marked by intense, unstable emotions and a distorted self-image. This one really distorted because they're making up fucking words to describe their self-image. The word histrionic means dramatic or theatrical. There you go. For people with histrionic personality disorder, their self-esteem depends on the approval of others, even children, and doesn't come from a true feeling of self-worth. They have an overwhelming desire to be noticed and often have dramatically or inappropriately to get attention. People with histrionic personality disorder often don't realize their behavior and way of thinking may be problematic. Histrionic personality disorder is one of a group of conditions called cluster B personality disorders, which involve dramatic and erratic behavior. Who does histrionic personality disorder affect? Histrionic personality disorder usually begins in your late teens or early 20s. Women and people assigned female at birth. No, you're a female at birth. You're not assigned at birth. You're female. Period. You cannot change your gender, folks. Right down to your fucking DNA. Are more commonly diagnosed with histrionic personality disorder than men and people assigned male at birth. But researchers think that men and people AMAB, may be underdiagnosed. What are the signs and symptoms of histrionic personality disorder? Check them off as I go down the list here. Check them off from this video. The main feature of histrionic personality disorder is displaying excessive superficial emotionality and sexuality to draw attention to themselves. A person with histrionic personality disorder may feel underappreciated or depressed when they are not the center of attention. Have rapidly shifting and shallow emotions. Be dramatic and extremely emotionally expressive, even to the point of embarrassing friends and family in public. If this person said this stuff in public, he definitely would be embarrassing his family. Have a larger-than-life presence. Be persistently charming and flirtatious. Well, this one isn't really that charming. Be overly concerned with their physical appearance. Yeah, maybe we can scratch that one off too, because obviously they don't care if they look like blithering shits. Use their physical appearance to draw attention to themselves by wearing bright colored clothing or revealing clothing. Can't see, so. Act inappropriately sexual with most of the people they meet, even when they're not sexually attracted to them. Kids. The loony left likes to do that with kids. Speak dramatically and express strong opinions, but with few facts or details to support their opinions. No facts to support their opinion that this person is all this crap that they made up. Be gullible and easily influenced by others, especially by the people they admire. Yeah, that would be the alphabet mafia. Think that their relationships with others are closer than they usually are. Have difficulty maintaining relationships, often seeming fake or shallow in their interactions with others. Need instant gratification and become bored or frustrated very easily. Constantly seek reassurance or approval, even from children. Welcome to TikTok. The loony leftist teachers. We're not grooming kids in school. By the way, after this video aired, the school literally shut down its webpage.
I'm here today to talk about this book. 3 weeks ago, my class and I were given this book to read by our English teacher.
English, not even health class. Can you say pervert in English? I knew you could.
Now I'm going to read you a few pieces from this book. But before I do, I'm going to let you know that this book was read aloud by our teacher in a classroom full of my peers.
How old do you think this kid is?
On page 13 it says, quote, Margot's best friend started a rumor that the real reason he had blood in his urine was due to chronic masturbation. On page 14 it says, quote, Bro, I saw your mom kiss you on the cheek this morning, and forgive me, but I swear to God I was like, man, I wish I was Q, and also, I wish my cheeks had penises.
Again, how old do you think these kids are?
On page 37, it says, quote, My lovely boyfriend of lo these many months is fucking my best friend. On page 41, it says, quote, I found myself feeling slightly bad for Jason. It wasn't his fault he had a micro penis. On page 276, it says, Ben starts, I spy with my little eye something I really like. Oh no, Radar says. Is it the taste of balls? No. Is it the taste of penises? I guess.
So basically, in American schools, we've gone from Shakespeare to Hustler.
No, dumbass, Ben says. Now, I'm not sure how everyone on this board feels about this book, but this book was originally chosen by our teacher. When we asked our teacher why these disgusting comments were in the book, the excuse was that the book was coming from the perspective of high school students and that my peers speak this way as well. This is not the case.
Well, if they keep teaching from books like that, his peers will talk like that. The ones on the way to prison.
This is something I wouldn't feel comfortable reading in front of my own parents, let alone my teacher reading it to an entire class of students.
Again, how old do you think those students are?
These books do not belong in our schools, and my opinion on the book, like many others in this room, is the majority opinion. This is ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Y'all really want to try to say there aren't trans kids? Let me tell you what there aren't. There aren't cis kids.
Yeah, they don't know what gender they are. True, they're kids. Then they attend a science class called biology. And then they learn about the reproduction of human male and female and about DNA. You know, science.
Okay, you telling your child, oh, you're a boy, you're a girl. This is a child. This is a free spirit that has not learned any of that bullshit until you force it on them.
Just like an idiot the other day said, young kids know they're straight or gay. So you can take them to drag shows and show them sexual things. At 6 years old, I just figured out how not to piss my pants in public. Didn't really have the grasp of the other uses of my pee-pee yet. We have a name for people that believe shit like that and want to groom kids. They're called chomos, and normally it will get you killed in prison. Here, they go on TikTok.
So cisness is the wound. Cisness is the delusion.
There is no such thing as trans or cis. There's kids. Then there are sick adults who want to groom kids to justify their mental illness.
Cisness is the lie. Cisness is the place of pain. Transness is the healing.
35% to 50% above the national average of most countries of post-operative trans will attempt suicide 10 to 15 years after surgery. Doesn't scream healing to me. It sounds like an ongoing mental illness that you need justified by children because most adults won't.
Transness is the growth. Transness is the truth. Transness is what we actually are. We are fluid. We are 70% water. We are God. God is change. God is trans. We are trans. You are forcing your kids to be boys and girls. We're saying, be whatever you are, baby. Be free. Be water. Be light.
Be quiet until you get to counseling.
Be sky. Be God. Because guess what? That's what we actually are.
What you actually are is mentally ill, and Mother Nature will always win.
What we actually are is trans, is change, is love. We're not the ones doing the forcing. And see God chiming just on time.
This is at a drag show in Florida. Look in the left corner of the photo. Yeah, they're not grooming kids at all. My biggest question isn't why a parent would take their child to basically a striptease by men dressed as women. I've seen enough Steve Wilkos. But why a man dressed as a woman would want to do their act in front of children. Can you say pedophilia? I knew you could. Now this is the education that you idiots are paying for. You're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for this idiot to teach your kids. Did you know the United States is ranked 24th in education out of 133 countries? I think I found one of the reasons.
For those of you who don't know me, I am a medical school professor specializing in molecular biology.
A professor in molecular biology that does not know about DNA. You know, the difference between male and female DNA?
I also have an extensive background in gender studies and queer studies.
I have an extensive background in gender studies and queer studies. Gender studies, if you have a penis, you're a man. If you have a vagina, you're a woman. And queer studies, if you like the same sex, you're gay. If you like the opposite sex, you're straight. There, now you have extensive experience in gender studies and queer studies.
The idea of sex as an immutable characteristic is a turf talking point that's been around for decades, and it's been weaponized against trans women in particular.
Let me translate trans women. Mentally ill men.
In the fashion of, oh, but you will always be male and therefore invading female spaces.
Yes, you will always be male, right down to your DNA.
Sex as it pertains to humans is a construct. It is a set of Spectrum variables with bimodal distribution that we draw an arbitrary set of boundaries around.
No, we don't draw rules around anything. Mother Nature does. For instance, if you're a man, you can't procreate. If you're a woman, you're supposed to be able to. And if you can't, we know something is wrong.
Into two broad categories, but they are not immutable characteristics. Almost all of those characteristics can be changed through hormones or through surgery.
No, you cannot change those features. You can make them look like the opposite sex, but you cannot change their function.
This is literally an argument that gets trans women killed and is the thing that people are using to tell us that we can't change our birth certificates, right?
No, what gets trans women killed is their partners killing them. And also the astronomical suicide rate of post-operative trans 10 to 15 years after surgery, 35 to 50%. Stop.
Stop.
Yeah, I'd like to go over to I'm over on my Twitter because this is where the president does most of his lying, and I like to call him on his shit. More than 1 in 5 local election officials will be working their first presidential election in 2024, according to a new poll. Let me see, 40-year inflation, a stagnant economy, turning over in Afghanistan to the Taliban, China, flexing its muscles over Taiwan, chaos in the Middle East. Give him 4 more years and I'll finish the job, all right. My question is, do the loony leftists know that Alzheimer's is terminal? My question. Leftists know that Alzheimer's is terminal? I have trouble spelling Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is terminal? Normally, once you see symptoms, it's not long. It's not long. There we go. We have, let's see, every generation has a moment where they have to stand up for democracy. Are you fucking kidding me? For their fundamental freedoms, I believe this is ours. Is that why he's trying to gut the Second Amendment and keeps adding stuff into the Constitution that isn't there? For instance, abortion. I'm still waiting for someone to show me the kill your baby amendment or fascists say what? Oh, I gotta hold on.
While I'm very glad that the person that is arguably responsible for some of the largest, driving some of the most amounts of death threats and violent threats, not just in my office, but to plenty of people across the country. I also kind of feel like I'm like waiting for the cutscene at the end of a Marvel movie after all the credits have rolled, and then you see like the villain's like hand reemerge out to grip over like the end of a building or something. But deplatforming works, and it is important, and there you go. Good things can happen.
Yeah, we call
Tucker
that
Carlson is
we call that censorship, and it's actually against the law, especially by a government official. So yeah, whoever elected this idiot. Let me. How can I put this? We think you loony leftists are idiots because you elect idiots to represent you. And people will only elect people or vote for people that have traits they like. For instance, she's a blithering idiot. So if you voted for her or re-elected her, you're obviously a blithering idiot. There's something about her you like. Could it be her stupidity? Oh my God, I have notifications. Every generation, yeah, that's from Good for Tucker. Trust me, he doesn't need them. That's Megan Kelly. Yeah, you don't need Fox. All right, back to home. Let's see what else. Say what? Yeah, it's, let me see. Yeah, well, it should. Is when a government official is cheering censorship. Censorship. Something be wrong in the republic. Something be wrong in the republic. There. See, this is like Hillary Clinton. Joe and Kamala are the best people for the job of defending our democracy, fighting for our rights, and making sure everyone has a fair shot. Hillary Clinton. Joe Biden retweeted it. Says the corrupt, unconvicted felon. 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 Yes. Here, I'll donate advice. Here, I'll donate something. I'll donate advice. Here. I'll donate advice. Here. I'll donate some advice. Alzheimer's is terminal. Just something to think about. And once you see symptoms, it's not long. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. I can't, for some reason, I can't spell Alzheimer's. I love fucking with the president, Joe Biden. Here, I'll donate some advice. Something to think about. Alzheimer's is terminal. Once you see symptoms, it's not long. And to be honest, I don't actually want him to embarrass himself like Fetterman did. An 18-year-old boy died when doctors tried to create a vagina for him using part of his colon. His colon was used because puberty blockers stopped growth of his genitals, which meant there wasn't enough tissue to do the penile inversion surgery. Yes, folks, 35 to 50% of you will try and off yourself 10 to 15 years after the surgery. This one didn't even get the chance. You're butchers. You're mentally ill. That's all you are. Manchin got played. He knew he was going to get played, and yet, having held out for a while, he gave in to stop this from happening. All he had to do was nothing. Barack Obama, proud of all that Joe Biden and his administration has accomplished these last few years. He's delivered for the American people, and he'll continue to do so once he's reelected. You are a horrible president, and your puppet is a horrible president. You were a horrible president, and your puppet is a horrible president. You were a horrible president, and your puppet is a horrible president. You were a horrible president, and your puppet is a horrible president. There. I think I've fucked with I've fucked with Biden. I've fucked with Sniffy Joe. But Barack Obama said, don't underestimate Joe's ability to fuck things up. We didn't. That's why we didn't vote for him. We didn't underestimate that. You loony leftists well, he's not Trump. However, after this 2-year shit show, if you still hate Trump, your ability to hold on to stupid is beyond measure. Here, I'm going to check out Facebook now. had some idiot try the turd challenge and was destroyed like handily. Because again, if you hate Trump after this 2-year shit show, your ability to hold on to stupid is beyond measure. Okay, let's see. Later I'm going to go up and get some cerveza. Yeah, nothing. Nobody here. All right, so that's, I think I got my 5 minutes worth. Anyway, yeah. So what I do, these people are, and yesterday I went over to, you'll see it in this, the libs of TikTok. Holy shit. If you're going to groom kids and then say you're not grooming kids, here's an idea. Don't put your grooming kids on TikTok. Don't call yourself a liar. That's how stupid these people are. They literally make themselves out to be liars. What's on YouTube that I can, or Facebook? Let's see. Dudes who used to drink Bud Light getting ready to comment. Don Lemon got fired too on every Tucker meme. Liberal page. Let's see. Well, yeah, where's that? Breaking news, Endeavor has hired the free agent Tucker Carlson in an effort to get more boomers to watch WWE. Oh, let me see here. I gotta go over to YouTube and find my, yes, these loony leftists are like celebrating Tucker Carlson got fired, but Don Lemon got fired too. Do you realize that the only difference between CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all these alphabet news agencies is who they're rooting for? That's the only difference. So these idiots, you know, they're like celebrating nothing. There's nothing for you to celebrate, you dumbasses. You're all in the same boat. You're all just as dumb. Let me see if I can find that video. Let's see. Bud Light put a woman on a fucking beer can after the loony left fought so hard to take in a fake woman. Yeah, I'll play that. See, get a shareable link. Got it? Copy. Maybe once seeing they can give Tucker and they make more money, perhaps if CNN could raise the money, they could afford Tucker Carlson. Raise the money, they could afford to give Tucker Don Lemon's place. Don Lemon's time slot. Of course, they actually have to have viewers. Of course, actually have to have viewers. They might actually catch up with Fox News now. Fox News in viewership. Perhaps if CNN could raise the money, they could afford to give Tucker Don Lemon's time slot. Of course, they would actually have to have viewers. They might actually catch up with Fox News in viewership. The Liberals page. Investment taxed at 86%. Biden tax plan would kill Wall Street. Risk losing my money and government takes my profits. Buy a yacht and sail away. I just moved to Brazil. See, I get to see you fucking idiots from a distance. And fallout from Budweiser's blunder continues. Well, this is what you get when the same people who took an actual black woman off a maple syrup bottle fucking this is what happens when the same people who fought tooth and nail take a real black woman off a maple syrup bottle, try to put a fake white woman on a can of beer. This is what happens when the same people who fought tooth and nail to take a real black woman off a maple syrup bottle try to put a fake white woman on a can of beer. We have a name for that, like it's called mental illness, or in Brazil it's called louca, or I'm going through my scrambles. Bud Light Anheuser-Busch places top marketing execs on leaving following controversial Bud Light campaign. $7 billion they lost. $7 billion. I guess there aren't that many people who want to see a fake woman on their beer cans. Politics is a drag when your badge doesn't work on Monday. You know, maybe they can give them Don Lemon's. Maybe CNN can actually get some viewers and make some money and afford Tucker to take Don Lemon's spot. Maybe CNN could actually make some money to afford to give Tucker Don Lemon's spot. They might actually catch up to Fox News ratings now. Fox News ratings now. Well, actually, it's maybe CNN can actually make some money to afford to give Tucker Don Lemon's spot. They might actually catch up to Fox News ratings now. Banks suggesting wording for liberal government statement to enable withholding of Freedom Convoy funds. That's Canada. That's called socialism, by the way. Almost communism, when you can steal other people's money because they protested. Trolls. Vegan humor. Stop forcing your views on me. Breaking Noam signs an executive order to protect gun rights at NRA at state level. Yes, the Democrats are protecting constitutional freedoms, except for one thing, obviously gun rights, freedom of speech. What they're protecting is something that isn't even in the Constitution. They're trying to pass laws to make abortion, easier to get, and being able to mutilate your kids. Yeah. Host Tucker Carlson. And like the loony left, but Don Lemon got fired too. So yeah. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, this is what I do. I scroll through weekly briefing. Dylan's drag, Joe's a gas bag, and Megas accused Eric of Red State. So this is what I do, is out at Fox, effective immediately. Yeah. Wait a minute. See, they don't let you count, but it doesn't mean I can't just mess with them, because at who is this? At Blue Dem Warriors. Let me try Blue Dem Warriors at Blithering Idiots. The hashtag. Let's see. 17 followers. This is funny. Perhaps they can, CNN can actually get some viewers to make some money, so they can afford Tucker, and give him Don Lemon's spot. Don Lemon's spot, since and actually get some opposing views over there. Over there. Maybe now. Maybe now CNN will catch up with Fox in ratings, or more precise, Fox ratings will drop to CNN levels. Let's see. Where's my thankful, funny? I'm looking for funny, silly. There we go. Share. Perhaps the CNN can actually, hold on, I'm going to edit this, because perhaps CNN can actually get some viewers to make some money so they can afford Tucker. And give him Don Lemon's spot and actually get some opposing views over there. Maybe now CNN will catch Fox in ratings. Catch Fox in the ratings. Or more precise, Fox ratings will drop to CNN levels. See, this is what I do. I like fucking with these people because they're just idiots. They're blithering fucking idiots. Here we go, Joy Reid. It's almost hard to believe that just months ago, Tucker Carlson wielded so much power. Kevin McCarthy traded him 40,000 hours of exclusive, which showed that you all were fucking lying. 40,000 hours of video that showed you were lying.
In his hostage deal to become speaker. Yet today, Tucker has officially achieved something that I don't think anyone else in our industry can claim. Being let go by all three major cable news networks. MSNBC, yes, he used to work here. CNN, after Jon Stewart humiliated him live on air. And now Fox.
40,000
hours
of video that showed you
has done more on cable television to spread the gospel of hate, fear, and paranoia.
40,000 hours of video that show you
propagandist Father Coughlin in the Nazi era of the 1930s.
leftists were lying. We're lying. Lying. 40,000 hours of video that show you loony leftists were lying. There. Maybe MSNBC's ratings, or maybe now, Fox News ratings will to MSNBC levels. Maybe now Fox News ratings will fall to MSNBC levels. And yes, they're all like trying to celebrate, but they keep forgetting that they fired Don Lemon for being a fucking basically a fascist. Fuck you and your stance. Where respect all bills get us. I think I have that in my, so I'm going to hammer this. Yes, the gender ideology cult is out there. And I like fucking with them too, because they're mentally ill. Holy shit. Like I put up science stuff, and they will babble back at me about the Bible. But I didn't mention the Bible. I posted DNA. I posted biology. I posted anatomy. Why are you talking to the Bible to me? And they'll do that. You know, God's going to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't mention God. Why you mention God? I mentioned biology, Mother Nature, DNA. You can't change those things, folks. A man cannot become a woman miraculously. It doesn't happen. All right, where is that? Oh, here we go. All right, let's see, where are we? Gotta open, come on. Yeah, there's people outside, but yeah, later I have to walk up and I'm gonna get me some cerveja, and I'm gonna go, here we go. Breaking news, doctors baffled by sharp spike in testicular injuries in women's sports. And here we go. Everyone become like you, the human race would go extinct. There we go. Where is it? Yep, Facebook. There we go. Oh, I got someone, a taker. Let's see what they have to say. Maybe CNN can give him Don Lemon's job. They already fired him once. So maybe Don Lemon can. No, he can't. See here. No, he can't. All right, yeah. No, he can't. Just love fucking with these people. So maybe Don Lemon can, no, he can't. So. Anyway, yeah, that's my day. So, I think I have my 5 minutes. I think I have my 5 minutes of them just being retarded. So I'm gonna end this podcast, and we'll have some fun. Yes, I like the way they always forget that Don Lemon got fired too. Looney left. Actually, I'm surprised Don Lemon didn't pull, because I believe Don Lemon is gay too. So he's also black and gay. I'm surprised he didn't pull those two cards together to give him that magical power. Like he's playing like one of those kids card games. You know, the victim cards. But yeah, so yeah, that's the podcast for this week. So have fun.